Here. In this video, I'm going to show you how to create a text color gradient in Clutch. It's a vibrant and eye-catchy technique to make an era section feel, for example, more modern, expressive, and dynamic. As you can see here, I have already a text written in a board and it has the gradient applied to it. It is applied specifically to the words and not the box surrounding it. It is completely selectable. I can say here that this is a gradient text. There you go. Now you could make it dynamic and anything that you put there will be taking that gradient. To replicate this and to explain to you how it's done, I have a text here and it has a text big applied to it just to feel that it's the same size. But let's dive into changing the background because that's what we want. And in this case, it's the image gradient layers. We're going to add one. As you can see, we have the gradient there, which is not what we want right now. It's because it's being applied to the background. But still, let's just define the kind of gradient that we want. I want a gradient that is going to be 90 degrees. So it's going to be horizontal. I wanted to grab a Tailwind token of zinc 700 to a zinc 300, for example. All right. Now, in order for us to change from the gradient going all the way to the background container, what we need to do is control the background clip, which in this case, we are going to type text. So we will only want it to be constrained to the text format. Now, what's happening here is that we're not seeing the gradient. And the reason for that is because it's being applied to the background. See it as you have the color text being a higher level and then the background being a sub-level. So what we need to do is on the color, we need to change this and make it transparent. In that case, it will let the background appear. And there you go. You have your gradient text applied. Now, imagine that we want to play out a little bit more with this and we don't want it to be just a simple gradient from left to right. As you know, there are examples of a lot of gradient steps and patterns that you can find on the web. You can easily grab the piece of code that represents the gradient. So I prepared here an example that is exactly that. What it brings is a piece of code that defines all the steps for the repeating linear gradient. Now, as you can see, this is a large code that wouldn't be applied into these small inputs. So what can happen here is, and I'm going to reset this, you can simply add a new linear gradient. Instead of using any of these windows, you're going to open a token binding, but instead of selecting a token, you're going to use a code, which is going to give you a more free-form way to code. And I'm going to pass my value. You can see it immediately appears there. Now let's imagine that I don't want this to be applied to all the words, all the characters, but just specific ones. That's also possible. What I did is I prepared a class name that has these effects. It has the image gradient, the clipping, and the color transparent. Below here, I have an example where I would like to apply the happy gradient to the word happy, the happy color to, let's see, I'm sorry, I actually did it wrong. It's not there, it's here. Happy gradient there. That would be applying to all of the text. And as you can see, now we have two words taking the gradient and other two words are just taking white color. Last, you can also achieve this by using an image. So I have an image here, which is a background with tones of orange. What we're going to do is apply that image to the text. So for that, we're going to go to the gradient layers. And instead of doing a gradient, what we're going to do is pick image, select the image. Sometimes there's this bug. Let's do it again. There you go. Image gradient. And it's not applying. But why would that be happening? Probably it's the color, right? Yeah, there you go. We just apply a transparency and now our image gradient is appearing there. That's how we use color gradients in Clutch. I hope you enjoyed it. See you in the next video.